Hello, my dear students. How are you? I'm so happy to be with you again. Today, we are going to discuss a simple thing that we are going to talk about question tag. Question tag is a question that we add at the end of a sentence to confirm information that we are asking about. We are not sure about something, so we offer our information, then we ask if it's correct or not. So when you ask using question tag, you are not sure about an information. You are not sure about information. Okay, let's start with the simplest rules of our question tag lesson. So let's watch this example. She is late. When we add a question tag at the end of sentence, it must be the opposite of the meaning. So is turns into isn't with the same subject, she. Question mark. So if we have a helping verb in our sentence, we change it to the opposite. Affirmative to negative, negative into affirmative. They aren't here. So it's a negative form. We change it into affirmative. Are they? So this is the simplest way to add a question tag to your sentence. This is the simplest way to add a question tag to your sentence. If the helping verb affirmative, change it into negative. If the helping verb is negative, change it into affirmative. We can use this rule with the most of our helping verbs. Let's check this sentence again. We will travel to Alexandria, Alex, tomorrow. We have here a modal verb with will. We have a modal verb with will. So we can change it into negative. Won't we? The same subject. We don't change it. We don't change the subject. Is it okay? So we have a few exceptions for our rule. Let's start with M. Let's start with M. If we have this sentence and we want to add a question tag to it, I am not late, for example. We have am not into a negative form, so we change it into am I. This is a correct sentence. What if we have affirmative form of am? I am late. In this case, we can't change am into amn't. It's not correct. We don't have this word in English. So we change it into aren't. Aren't I, because we don't change our subject. Aren't I? Yes. Yes, aren't I is the correct question tag for the affirmative form of am. aren't I is the correct question tag for the affirmative form of am, of a sentence with am as a helping verb. This is number one. Number two, for the present simple, in present simple and past simple, we don't have an auxiliary verb or helping verb in our sentence. For example, she works hard. For the past simple, she worked hard. In this sentence, we don't have helping verb. We don't have helping verb. So when we start to add a question tag to this sentence, we begin with changing the verb into a negative form. So works means doesn't work, doesn't work. So we change it into doesn't, the negative form of does, and we add the subject, doesn't she, doesn't she. So what about the past simple? Work, work. So we change it into didn't, change it into didn't work. So we add didn't she as a question tag. Please note, if we have the negative form like this sentence, we don't play football. Please mute yourself. We don't play football. We have don't here as an auxiliary verb. We change it into affirmative. Do we? We change it into affirmative. Do we? But in affirmative sentence, we have to get an auxiliary verb. We have to get an auxiliary verb. Is it clear? This is number two. Okay. We have another rule. Verb to have. Verb to have. Have or has. If we are using have or has, which means owns, own or owns, for example, I have a car. This means I own a car. Let's do this sentence. It's a present simple sentence. As we used to, we change the verb own into a negative don't own. Don't own. We change it into negative form. Don't I? Don't I? It's a question tag in the present simple. What about have? What about have? Have in this sentence means own, so it's a main verb, not an helping, not an auxiliary verb. So we have to both have. We have to both have in a negative form. We have to both have into a negative form. So we use an auxiliary verb. We use don't. I don't have a car. I don't have a car. So the question tag will be don't I. What about has? She has a brother. She has a brother. What about this verb? Is it main verb means own or auxiliary verb? It's an auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb which has no meaning. We have here another verb like this one. For this example, we change has into a negative. She doesn't have a brother. So the question tag will be doesn't she? Doesn't she? So what about if we have here has or have here means own? What about if we have has or have uh, as an auxiliary verb? Like this sentence, she has bought a car. She has bought a car. We have here bought as a main verb. We have here bought as a main verb. This verb makes my sentence meaningful. So has here we doesn't have any meaning. It's an auxiliary verb. So we can use it as an auxiliary verb. It's affirmative, change it into negative. Hasn't she? Hasn't she? They have moved. They have moved. In this case, we have moved as a main verb, and we use have an auxiliary verb. Haven't they? Haven't they? Okay, is it clear? Okay, okay. Let's go to the next part. Suggestion. Suggestion with let's. Let's see this sentence together. Let's have lunch. Can we add a question tag to this sentence? It's a suggestion, means giving away an idea. They have to accept or refuse it. So if you have a suggestion and you want a confirmation for your words, we use shall we. Shall we. So you ask your friends to have lunch together. What about this idea? Shall we go? Let's have lunch. Shall we? So you add a question tag at the end to confirm your words. To confirm your words. Get their confirmation if they agree or not. What about the commands? Orders. Like wash your hands. If we started with an infinitive verb, it's an order. I want you to do it. I want you to wash your hands. So we start it with will, will you. But what about if I told you something like, don't speak in the class? Some students told me before that we can use don't. No, it's an order. So we will use will you. We'll use will you. Okay, we have some exercise to do, some questions to answer together. So I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself in turns. Please don't answer without permission. Okay, let's start together. Can you see this question? If you can see this question, this exercise, please raise your hand or send a sign. Okay. Let's make it a little bigger. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Judy,
Yes.
can you answer number 1, please?
Isn't he?
He is still sleeping. So we have is here as an auxiliary verb. So isn't he is the correct answer. That's correct. Thank you. Malak Mahmoud?
Yes.
You do go to school. It's a confirming word. He gave it for free in this sentence. You do go to school.
Don't you?
Don't you? So it's a correct answer. Okay, thank you. Fatma Khalid,
Yes.
can you answer number 3? It's a suggestion.
Shall we?
Should we or
Shall we?
shall we? Shall we? That's the correct answer. Thank you. Okay, Marina Ayman. Let's go to the next page. We won't be late. We won't be late. Won't we or will we or are we?
Won't we?
Think again, please. We won't be late. Won't be late. Change it from affirmative into negative, negative into affirmative. Marina, we won't be late. Yeah, I can hear you. Raise your voice.
Will we?
Will we? Thank you. That's the correct answer. Nobody called. Who can answer it? Frost. We change nobody into they. Into they. Nobody called. Past simple.
Didn't they?
Can you think again about nobody? It's a critical question. Can you check this point with me, please? If you have nobody, it means negative form. When we change nobody into they, when it's negative with no, we change it into affirmative. Did they? So I answered that. Did they? Nobody is a negative sentence with no. So we change it into affirmative. We didn't add not. We didn't find not in this sentence, but nobody means negative. Means negative. Nobody called means they didn't call. They didn't call. Okay, so the correct answer is did they. The correct answer is did they. For us, number 6, they will wash the car. They will wash the car.
Won't they?
Won't they? So it's a correct answer. Thank you so much. Huh? Who else? Miss Huda? Rudaina? Rudaina? Okay. Judy, are you raising your hand? Do you want to answer?
Yes.
Yes. We must lock the doors. We must lock the doors. Huh.
Mustn't we?
Mustn't we? That's the correct answer. Thank you. Let's go to the next page. Okay. Rodina, are you here? Who has the name Nancy Abu Saif? Who has the name Nancy Abu Saif? Can you hear us? Nancy? Okay. Okay. Malak Mahmoud,
Yes.
number 8. I'm right. I am right. It's affirmative. Don't be hesitated. Huh. I'm right.
Aren't I?
Aren't I? That's correct. So we don't have amn't I, am not I. They are not correct. They are not correct. Thank you so much, and you did great. Okay, Fatma Khalid. I have a comment about this sentence. We are going to say it later, okay? I have a comment about this sentence. We are going to say it later, okay? At the end of the session. Okay. Fatma, number 10. You wouldn't like to invite my dad. You wouldn't like to invite my dad.
Would you?
Would you? Excellent. So would you is the correct answer. Okay, let's go to the next page. In this exercise, we are going to write the question tag itself. We are going to write the question tag. Okay. Marina? Marina and
Yes.
Rodina. Okay, Marina, can you answer number 1?
Isn't she?
She is from a small town in China. So the question tag is isn't she. That's correct. Thank you. Okay. Do we have another? Okay. Yusuf? Yusuf and Ziad. Huh. Yusuf? Okay. Frost.
Mm.
They aren't on their
They,
way already. They aren't on their way already.
are they?
Are they? Excellent. Okay. Fatma. We are late again,
Aren't we?
aren't we? Thank you. Malak,
Yes.
I'm not the person with the text.
Am I?
Am I? Excellent. Judy.
Yes.
Julie isn't an accountant.
Isn't Julie?
We don't add a name, add a pronoun.
Isn't she?
Isn't she? Are you sure? Isn't she? Is it the correct answer?
Yes.
Isn't? It's a negative form here in the sentence.
Is.
Is she? Excellent. Miss Hoda, I'm glad to see your hand is raised. Okay. Judy, in this sentence, we found that Julie isn't an accountant. Julie is a girl. We don't add the name of the person, we add a pronoun. This is number one. If we have a negative form, isn't, we add, we flip it into affirmative. If we have affirmative, we flip it into negative. Okay, okay. Frost,
Mm,
the weather is really bad today. The weather is
isn't it?
isn't it? Thank you. Marina,
Yes.
he's very handsome,
Isn't he?
isn't he? Thank you. Rodana, can you hear us? Okay. Ziad, Yusuf. Okay. Okay, let's start over. Malak Mahmoud.
Yes.
Number 8. They aren't in Mumbai at the moment. Do you remember Mumbai around the world in 80 days?
Uh, not really.
It's a city in India. They aren't in Mumbai at the moment.
Are they?
Are they? That's correct. Okay. Fatma, you aren't from Brazil. You aren't from Brazil.
Are you?
Are you? Excellent. Mahmoud,
Mr.
John is a very good student. John is
Is
a,
he?
change it
Is
into
he?
negative. Change,
Isn't he?
isn't he? Excellent. Thank you. Frost, I like
Mm,
chocolate very much. It's a present simple sentence. I like chocolate very much.
aren't I?
Uh-uh-uh. Change like into a negative form. I like, I don't like. I like. I don't like. Hmm. Huh.
Don't like I.
Don't like I. Are you sure? Huh. Don't
Mm,
I? Don't I? Without like. Don't I? We said in a present simple or a past simple sentence, we get the negative form, auxiliary verb. Don't, doesn't, or didn't if we have an affirmative sentence. Okay? If we have a negative sentence, we can use the helping verb directly. So Yusuf, can you hear me? Do you have a problem with your phone? Okay. Marina Ayman,
Yes.
she doesn't work in a hotel. She doesn't work in a hotel.
Does she?
Does she? Excellent. Does she? Yusuf, you raise your hand. Can you hear us? Okay. Rudaina, can you hear us? Okay. Judy,
Yes.
the next sentence, number 13. They need some new clothes. They need some new clothes. Huh. It's an affirmative present simple sentence. Affirmative present simple sentence. Hmm.
Aren't they?
Where did you get are? Where did you get are? We don't have are here. They
Don't
need.
say.
Huh.
Don't say.
Yes, that's correct. Raise your voice. What should I write?
Don't say.
Don't they? That's correct. Sorry, I couldn't hear you at first. Okay, thank you so much. Malak Mahmoud.
Yes.
I live in a tiny flat. I live in a tiny flat.
Don't we?
Hmm. Sorry,
Don't we?
don't we? Excellent. Thank you, Fatma. She studies very hard every night. She studies very hard every night.
Doesn't she?
Doesn't she? Thank you. So this is the end of our exercise. I want to tell you something before ending, before finishing our lesson. Can you remember the sentence that we told we are going to talk about? So you bought a car. Can you guess the correct answer? Please unmute yourself, all of you. Can you guess the correct answer? If you know, unmute yourself and say it loudly.
Haven't you?
Haven't you? Can you see?
Weren't you?
Have. Huh?
Haven't you?
Huh? Unfortunately, it's not correct. Huh? What else?
Weren't you?
did you?
Weren't you? It's not correct. So for us, you are correct.
You.
What about the sentence? Can you see so at the beginning of the sentence? If we have the expressions, which means that you are sure about something, you can keep the question tag and don't flip the meaning. So I know something for sure. I want you to know that I know. We use this form. So you bought a car. I know that you bought a car. And I'm sure of it. I am sure of it. So I don't have to use didn't you. I use did you to show the person that I'm talking with that I know for sure, and I let you know that I know. I'm telling you that I know something and I'm sure of it. If you are not sure of something, use flip the auxiliary verb. Is, isn't. Isn't, for example, is. Okay? You are not sure of something and you need confirmation. So this part is a little bit higher. We teach it in a secondary stages, but I want to let you know this part right now. Okay? If you are sure about something, you can use the same auxiliary verb. You bought a car. Did you? This is the correct answer. We have so at the beginning, and it makes the meaning that I know that you bought a car, and I want you to know that you bought a car. So it's the end of our session, and I'm so happy to be with you again and see you next week, inshallah. Goodbye.